Here we back with another interesting video. Now, brothers, today we got this lady up on the screen. As you can see, you know, she's talking about how there is no benefit to marriage for a woman. And she's talking about how young women need to live their life. Don't worry about getting married. Don't worry about finding a good man. Don't worry about finding a patriarch for your children. Don't worry about none of that. You know, put yourself first. Marriage has no benefit. Live your life. Travel. Do your goddamn thing. You know, and brothers, listen, you know me. You know what I always say, traditional men need to be with traditional women and modern men need to be with modern women. Listen, I support segregation, separation, delineation, all that, everything in between. So I don't got a problem with this lady. First of all, I just want to put that off the bat. She's a modern woman. She needs to be with a modern man. You know, a traditional man needs to see a woman like this and get the hell away. Now, I'm going to play a clip from 2 of her videos, right? In the first video, she's basically talking about how there is no benefit to marriage. Marriage has no value. Marriage is worthless. You know, typical modern woman rhetoric. I told you, brothers, if you are a traditional man, you come from a traditional family, whenever you hear women talking like this, brother, put on your track shoes, get the hell up out the spot, run away as fast as possible. Now, I'm going to jump into the first clip where she's basically telling us that marriage as an institution has no value on society and on the community. So anyways, man, I'm gonna jump into the first clip, then I'm gonna jump into the second clip, and then I'm gonna come back with my commentary. Let's go.
For a lot of women, it just simply comes down to they just want to be able to say they're married. They want to be able to say they're a Mrs. That's it. And I have heard a lot of women defensively talk about the benefits of being married, but honestly, unless that man is rich or unless he has some kind of job with some kind of extraordinary benefits, there is no benefit to you. What the fuck do you mean? And some women want to have children, but they feel like they have to be married before they can have children because as a society, we tend to shame women who have kids with someone and they're not married to them, which is fucking weird.
Now, if you've been following my channel, then you shouldn't be surprised by anything that you heard. Number one, you already know what I say. American society, it does not cultivate women who value these things, value the family structure, value having a legacy, value their lineage, value their ancestors. I told you, you're not going to find that in America, right? You're going to have to go to these different countries that really maintain those cultural values, these traditional values that really cultivate women to value and maintain the family structure, understanding the importance of having a good father for your children. Women in America, you're not going to find that. I told you, in America, people come to America for economic opportunity, to have fun, to, you know what I mean, smash the hoes. That's what America produces, right? America is not going to produce, you know, these wives and mothers. And no, it's not producing that. It's going to produce, you know, late night rendezvous, you know, having a good time on a late night, creeping, smashing, having a good time, drinking, smoking. That is what America is about, right? And in the next video, you're going to understand what I mean, because a woman actually, I believe, came into her comment section and basically asked her for advice, basically saying, I'm a young woman. What should I do? What should I focus on? And, you know, and no surprise, she basically told the young woman, listen, focus on yourself. Put yourself first. Don't worry about finding a man. Don't worry about getting married. Don't worry about none of that. Worry about yourself. Put yourself first, because tomorrow isn't promised. And I hate to always bring up Dr. Umar, but listen, when Dr. Umar said that black men need to volunteer in the hood for the kids who don't got a father, you know what I mean? We got to volunteer and step up, you know, because, you know, we got to set an example. We got to be a big brother to the young boys in the community. And, you know, I pushed back on Dr. Umar because I was like, Dr. Umar, you don't understand the reality on the ground. You don't understand the mentality of the women on the ground, right? The women don't even value these things. They don't even value having a leader for their children, having a good man around for their children, getting married. They don't value the family structure. They don't even value these things, number one. And then you're going to tell black men got to go volunteer and step up when these women don't even value these things they're supposed to value to maintain a community, bro. So Dr. Umar, you know, I hate to bring up Dr. Umar because I don't got a problem with him, but I'm still on his neck about that. Black men need to go volunteer and help the children of these women who have this mentality that don't even value the family structure. How dare you, Dr. Umar Johnson? How dare you, Dr. Ifatunde? How dare you? Now, listen, man, I'm gonna jump into the second clip, right, where the lady came into a comment section asking for advice, and then you're gonna see this woman right here is an elder. I can see the wrinkles in her forehead and under her eyes and on her cheeks. She's an elder. She's supposed to be a fountain of wisdom, right? So listen to what this elder tells this young woman, right? And then you understand why the women in the West, the women in America, they don't got it, man. They don't got it, bro. They don't got what it takes. They don't got the personality traits to even be a wife and a mother to a man that's worth anything, right? That's why they're stuck dealing with the dusties and the broke dudes and the bums, because that's all they qualify for, because their mentality does not cut it. Because as soon as a man comes around and gets a glimpse of their energy or their spirit, he's immediately going to cancel them. He's immediately going to ghost them. He's going to stop talking to them because he's going to realize, man, this chick is trash. Like, she's trash. I can't waste my time with this trash. This is garbage over here, man. And then once those men remove themselves from the picture, the only men they're stuck with are the broke dudes, the lame dudes, the dusty dudes, the lying ass dudes, the manipulative dudes, the abusive dudes. That's the only men left, because that's the only man that's gonna tolerate a low quality female. A real man ain't gonna tolerate no bullshit minded female in his circumference, in his environment. So the only men that are gonna tolerate that is the low quality men they complain about. And that's the facts. That's the facts, bro. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, man. And that's why they don't value marriage. That's why they don't value the family structure, because the only men they qualify for is the men on the bottom of the barrel. Because the men on top of the totem pole, they're not even gonna give them the time of day, bro. They're not even gonna get in the time of day. As soon as they open their mouth, they're gonna be like, man, this chick is trash. This chick is trash. She look good on the outside, but she dusty on the inside. Her mentality is dusty. She need to be with a goddamn dusty. Now, anyways, man, I'm gonna jump into the second clip and I'm gonna come back on my commentary. Let's go.
These young years, live your life, period. I blocked a lot of people because of that video that I posted right there. And one of the main arguments that I got in response to that video, in response to me encouraging younger women to live their young years by putting themselves first. And if they want to get married and have kids, you can always do that. Love is always there. But prioritize what you want, your dreams, your goals now, while you don't have any commitment. The biggest pushback I got from that was people saying, well, your younger years is when you settle down and have kids and you live your older years for yourself. Who told you that you were going to get older? Who told you that tomorrow is promised to you? Who said that you're going to live all the way until retirement age, 60, 70, whatever? Who told you that that was a guarantee? Now, mind you, you don't have to take any advice from me. I totally get that. There is no obligation to listen to or follow anything that I say, but I can guarantee you that if you take advice from someone who discourages you from living your life and prioritizing yourself and enjoying your freedom, if you take any advice that they tell you, you're falling for a scam. You're falling for a trap.
Now, I'm going to say it off the rip before I jump into my commentary, right? The reason why older women who are supposed to be elders, they always give terrible advice to younger women is because they're all competing for the same man. The 45-year-old woman is also competing against a 23-year-old woman, right? But because the 45-year-old woman in her younger years, she wasn't, thinking down the line. She wasn't thinking about, finding a good man when she actually was in the game, when she could actually compete. Now she's 45 years old, 46 years old, 42 years old, 39 years old. She's still on the market. She's still on the battlefield, right? So she's still battling against these younger women, these younger models, these younger, these 21-year-olds, these 22-year-olds, these 25-year-olds that's looking goddamn good. That's looking amazing out here in these goddamn streets. I see y'all, man. I see y'all. You know what I'm saying? I see y'all. Yeah, you already know what it is. So listen, they're still on the market, right? So they know they can't compete against these young, 21, 22, 23-year-old university, straight getting their degree, starting their career, young, fine, looking amazing. They know they can't really compete against them. So they're 45 years old, 48 years old. They give these women terrible advice. Don't worry about finding a good man. Don't worry about finding a good man. Don't worry about that. Put yourself first. Go travel. Go to Mexico. Go to Rome. Go to Italy. Go to Spain. Take pictures for Instagram. Don't worry about finding a good man. That's not important because they still trying to find a good man they damn self. So they're trying to get the young women off the market. Listen, get off the market. Stop looking. Stop competing against me. I'm still trying to find a good man. Time is ticking. The clock is ticking. Tick, tick, tick. I got to find a good man and I don't need any young, fine, dime piece trying to distract the good men from looking at me. That's the fact of the matter. First things first. You see, when it comes to men, there's a similar dynamic, but it's different, right? Because men, there is no competition between an older established man and a younger broke man. For example, a man that's 45 years old, established in his career, got money in the bank, got money in savings, got money in, all over the goddamn place, got property all over the goddamn place. He's not competing with the younger 23-year-old man because there is no competition, right? The older established gentleman, he got his career, he got his business, he got his luxury vehicles, he got his property, he getting fresh, he in the gym every goddamn morning, he's doing his thing. The young guy still trying to come up, trying to establish himself, he cannot compete with the elders. Listen, when I was on the come up, bro, I could not compete with the old heads. The old heads, listen, they way ahead of me, bro. They way ahead of me. They got decades of experience, decades of getting money, decades of knowledge. I can never compete. There is no competition. So men don't have the similar dynamic. But when it comes to men, it might be, for example, an older gentleman, he might not want to give you certain knowledge or information that might propel you ahead of him, because a lot of older guys, they believe that, if you're a young guy, you should pay your dues. You know, I paid my dues. I had to come up. I had to struggle. You got to struggle too. So sometimes men might withhold information from the younger guys that would, you know, accelerate their process, you know, further ahead. That's something similar that men go through. But when it comes to competing with women, men do not go through that because there is no competition, right? So the older dudes is never going to give this terrible advice to the younger guys. You know what I mean? Because the younger guys are not competing with the older guys. We cannot compete. You know, we are not established yet. We are not established yet because a man reaches his peak. I told y'all, a man reaches his peak when he's in his 40s and his 50s, when he got experience in his career. He been getting money for a while. He been stacking money for a while. You know what I mean? And he's settled and he's stable. That is when a man reaches his peak in his 40s and his 50s. And at that time, he could deal with the woman all the way down in her early 20s or around his age, wherever that is. He could do whatever he wants. The game is his. The world is his at that point. But when it comes to women, when they get older, when they reach 40s and their 50s, their prime was already in their 20s and their 30s. So they don't got the same leverage that a man has who's established, you know what I mean, like the older gentleman got. So they're still competing against the younger women because the reality of the fact is this: the 22-year-old woman can get the same exact man as the 42-year-old woman. So they're all competing. That's why the older women always give the younger women terrible advice that removes them from the field of competition. And like I told you, because most of these women have a terrible personality, a terrible worldview, the only men they qualify for, like I said, is the bottom of the barrel, because the men at the top of the totem pole would never allow a woman like this in his environment with this trash mentality. You don't even value the family structure. You don't even value having a father for your children. Why would I ever have you around me? Like, get the fuck away from me, man. Like, so many women out here that I could be around, fuck out of my face. That is how a man is gonna react. And then once she has no access to any man of any importance, of any value, and she's left with dealing with a bunch of broke dudes, a bunch of dusty dudes, then she's gonna get mad. Then she's gonna get bitter and angry and say, oh, black men this, black men that. There's no good men left. It's only dusty men. It's only broke men. Yeah, that's the only man you qualify for, because your mentality is trash. Your mentality is trash. Any man of any intelligence would never allow you to be the mother of his children, right? To carry on his legacy and his lineage. Fuck out of here, man. You're a joke. Now, I was scrolling through Instagram the other day and I seen an excellent post, man. An excellent post. You know, this woman right here, we're not going to talk about the lady that we're talking about. Now we're going to switch gears. This lady right here, take a look up on the screen. She's very wise. You know, I've been following her on Instagram for a while. This right here is an elder that has wisdom. Okay, this is a black woman, an elder that has wisdom. Okay, she's not competing with the younger women. She's not bitter. She's not mad. Listen, this is a difference, right? I showed you the garbage. Now I'm gonna show you the real black woman right here. Real elder wisdom. You know, this is the type of elderly wisdom that I'm accustomed to, you know, from my grandmother and my mother. Because listen, bro, I come from a long line of black men that were married to black women until the day they died. You know, listen, I come from a long line of black men that married to a black woman for decades and decades. Listen, I seen the benefits of the family structure. All right, I'm living testament of the benefits of the family structure. Okay, lived an amazing life, can't complain, never missed a meal, had everything I ever wanted, man. Listen, shout out to my folks, man. So when I hear y'all talking down on marriage, I already know you come from bloodlines of failure, bloodlines of tragedy. I already know your mom chose a bum. Yeah, your father was probably a bum. You know what I mean? The men in your family probably some bums. You know, you come from a long line of bums. I don't come from a long line of bums and failures. You know, I seen the importance of the black family, the importance of marriage. I know what it is, yo. So that's why me personally, I'm going to continue to uphold that tradition. Now, first things first, take a look up on the screen. I'm going to read a series of tweets from this lady right here. You know, I appreciate her a lot. Shout out to her. Take a look up on the screen. Let's read it together. Starting at the bottom, she said, "What I see a lot from my women peers is the narrative of dusty men, broke men, men having nothing to offer, but you know what?" Now, moving on, she went on to say this. "However, factually, there are about 2.5 million black men that are economically in the upper class. Granted that this is a smaller percentage in comparison to other men, it is still a fairly large number of men to constantly only run into the dusties. And one may ask," starting with the upper right hand corner, "well, where are they? Are they a myth?" And I can tell you exactly where they are, because I know quite a few high earning black men. They're off the market. They've been off the market since their late 20s and early 30s, married, children that are teenagers. Now going to the bottom left hand corner. And I'll tell you their evolution, since our reference points for relationships are either celebrities or the other extreme of broke toxic men. My high school, as I've shared, was Brooklyn Tech. All the black people knew each other, and you were given all the tools to go into engineering. Our high school mascot and teams were called the Engineers. Out of the class, we have about 22 black male engineers, mostly civil and mechanical engineers, a few petroleum engineers. They're all senior level now, also doing consulting jobs. Barely had time while studying for their PEs, barely had time while doing their internships, started dating their wives when they could only take care of themselves on an intern salary, and the wife took care of herself in her own job as a new graduate herself, and they built together. Now, I'm going to stop right there. Listen, as someone who, like I told you, I come from a long line of black men that was married to black women until they died. And yes, the women who get these good men, these high earning men, yes, they get them. They're not sitting around like that idiot over there talking about put yourself first, go travel, go have sex till you're 37 years old and wait and get a good man when you're 42 and you're all wrinkly and dusty. No, they got their men. They got their men at a decent time period. They didn't wait till they was 47 years old talking about, well, let me find a good black man now. You know what I'm saying? Menopause done hit. Let me go find a good black man. You know what I mean? Listen, they're not following this goofy advice. All right. Listen, my aunt, she got married in her early 20s, right? My mom got married in her early to mid 20s, right? My grandmother got married in her mid 20s. Now, I'm not saying that's a rule that you have to follow, but there's a pattern that you notice, right? The women who were able to achieve all these amazing things, the family structure, having an amazing husband, having, beautiful children that lived an amazing life, the women who were able to achieve these things, and you look at the playbook that they employed, they did not follow this weird advice of, listen, I'm going to do my own thing until I'm 39 years old, until I'm 42 years old, and then when I'm good and ready, I'm going to go find me a good man, as if good men are just waiting around. No, the good men, they finding they good women, and they're going to get married, and they're going to have children, and they're going to, establish their legacy for the next generation, bro. They're not sitting around. No, they're not doing that shit, bro. No, like, it is what it is. That's a fact of the matter. A lot of women are thinking, okay, I'm going to wait till the man reaches the finish line. But the reality of the fact is this: the majority of women that you see that are married to these high earning, high flying men, they got with those men when they were on the come up, when they were on the rise. They seen down the line. They were like, okay, this man is going somewhere. I'm going to attach myself to him because I know he's going to the promised land. They didn't wait at the finish line because when a man reaches the finish line, at that point the price is way too high. He's gonna have too many options. You're not gonna be able to get that man when he's at the finish line. The woman who is with that man on a come up, that is the woman. Those are the women that you see married to those high flying men for decades and decades and decades, bro. That's the reality of the fact. And like I said, these people are usually in the same circle, right? So they usually met them while they was in university, while they were on a come up. They were in similar circles. So the women already seen, okay, this man is going somewhere. They were able to identify what a good man is, and they were able to value that. If you are a woman who doesn't even value what a good man is, you don't even value the family structure, you don't even value marriage, how are you ever going to be able to spot and detect a good man? You're never going to be able to even spot and detect him. That's why you're always going to be stuck with the bottom of the barrel, because your mentality is garbage. It is what it is. Now let's continue. Next tweet. She went on to say, now they are mostly the breadwinners in their households, and their wives are getting the time and the money they have earned. Then, onto the highly skilled tradesmen. That is my brother's circle. All are married to black women and got married during that same age group, late 20s to early 30s. They too, during their training, testing, probation periods, and journeyman periods, were barely on the scene, only made enough to take care of themselves and met their wives through others or in other departments, etc., etc. She was taking care of herself with her own job. Now, at the very senior level, they are the senior foremen, making between $55 to $60 an hour, plus time and a half with overtime that's always available. They're on their second or third property because of their strong credit union and have excellent benefits, life insurance, and retirement. Now, starting at the upper left-hand corner. Now, they too are the primary breadwinners, if not the sole breadwinner in their marriages. I can go on with the other sectors of men who went into transportation and then put their own vehicles on the road after not having time and earning very little pay during their training. The software engineers and a few in non-glamorous businesses, but the story remains the same. For those in their late 30s, early 40s who are earning between $150,000 to $300,000 after taxes or expenses, who are also married, I'm sharing this to open up an admission. There's not just dusties out there. The high earners are out of the game and are sticking with who saw that he was going to build anyway before he built anything and got with him in that period. Not just sticking with, but rewarding them in a sense with a real soft life. Damn. Mic drop. You know what I'm saying? Mic drop. Listen, this is the difference between a real elder, a real black woman, a real fountain of wisdom, and that dusty chick with the wrinkly forehead talking about marriage has no value unless the man is rich and who put yourself first, who cares? Man, shut your dusty ass up, man. Ain't no real black man or any man of any race giving you the time of day. Man, sitting up on YouTube talking mess. You need to go see a therapist. Get out of here, man. Listen, I can tell you come from a bloodline of failure. Come on, man. To be honest, man, listen, if you don't come from a bloodline of successful marriages, of black love, of people who loved each other, raised their kids, raised proper children. If you don't come from a long line of people with that legacy and with that background, I don't care about your opinion on marriage or what value marriage has. Get out of here, bro. If your mom couldn't even pick a good man, your grandma couldn't even pick a good man, I don't give a fuck what you think in the modern day about what marriage is. You don't know shit about marriage, okay? If you don't come from that, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't care what you got to say about that, okay? Because at the end of the day, you're just projecting the failures of your own families onto the entire population and poisoning the minds of the women coming after you who might be able to find a good man, but because they were poisoned with your mentality, a good man is going to run away as soon as he gets around him. Now let's continue. Going to the bottom right-hand corner, she said this: work is a choice for them. So at this stage in the game, don't let other women lie to you. Like the market is the same as when you were younger. Don't be desperate, but don't sit back. If you didn't know how to pick the wrong one, put yourself together nicely and increase your pleasant interactions with men. Act like the city sanitation workers when you run into trash and dump them quickly like you are about business. Most importantly, the toast to these men's wives are never about their ability to provide. At social gatherings, it's about her love for cooking, being a great cook, something to do with character, nurturing traits and personality, and being a team player. There's many attractive black women out there, but the toasts are from the good provider husbands are always about their character. Now listen, going back to the lady at the beginning of the video. Do you think she has any of these personality traits to get the type of man that she wants? You're bitter, you old, you wrinkly, you got terrible advice, you don't value men, you don't value marriage. Why would any man of any value waste his time talking to you for 2 seconds? Fuck out of my face, okay? Now, let's continue. She went into the comment section of the post and actually said some more. She dropped some more fire. Take a look up on the screen. Also, I know it's often said that money does not equal character, but I find my black male peers to be an exception to this when one isn't speaking of celebrity culture. These men are more disciplined, more socially intelligent, more communicative, and very responsible. Why? Because a simple DUI can ruin their position or get them fired. Why? Because being late or messing up through carelessness or recklessness can get people hurt and they'd be responsible. Why? Because it takes discipline to finish each of these programs. And also, one cannot do these jobs without learning to work well with others and be an effective and clear communicator. Now listen, listen, they talk about they can't find a good black man, but listen, it's a reason why the good black men don't want to get around you. Listen, the good black men see you and they put on their track shoes and get the fuck up out the spot, man. Now let's continue. She went on to say this: so there's no need to create a narrative as if that's all that does exist now because you missed the boat. Now let's time that out. Remember the advice she gave. Don't worry about finding a good man. Don't worry about the family. Don't worry about all that bullshit. And now she said, listen, don't create a fake narrative now because you angry and you missed the boat. You missed the boat. Y'all hoes missed the boat, man. Y'all missed the boat. You know what I'm saying? Y'all missed the bus. You know what I'm saying? Y'all missed the bus and a bus ain't coming no more. You missed the last bus. You missed the last bus of the day. That was the last bus coming. You know what I'm saying? It's over. You got to walk home now, bitch. All right, let's continue. So there's no need to create a narrative as if that's all that does exist now because you missed the boat. That isn't. It's just about a realization that if you were never given the tools to identify a builder and a producer, or if you held an attraction to a certain non-productive archetype, yeah. You know y'all hoes love them dudes that be in and out of jail, these dudes that ain't got no direction in their life. Yeah, you are attracted to a non-productive archetype of the black man. And the productive archetype of the black man, either he avoids you because he noticed that you are trash, or you don't qualify for him because you don't value him and you're not able to identify him. Now let's continue. Now, in the second go-round, don't bring your scars and burden to prove that he is a good man based on a past man's actions. Don't bring the default of expecting drama and toxicity and put yourself out there with a clear eye, a low tolerance for time wasting, and an open heart. An open heart paired with the two. Now, listen, that is good advice for young women right there. All right? That is good advice. The woman at the beginning, garbage, bitterness, trash. There's a reason she don't got a good man and she got all them wrinkles on the goddamn forehead and on the goddamn chin. It's a reason why. Because the mentality that you have is not compatible with the traditional provider man that you would like to have. All right? You're not compatible with him. You are a modern woman and you need to be with a modern man. You're not supposed to be with a traditional provider, protector, responsible, honorable man because you don't even value that. You're a modern woman. You're not a traditional woman. You're not compatible with him because the woman compatible with that man, she would value that man. She would be able to identify that man and she would never denigrate the value of that man in public. Okay. So because you don't value it, there's a reason why you don't qualify for it and you don't have it. And the women that are able to identify it and the women that value it, they are the ones that have it and are able to keep it for decades and decades until death do them part. All right. So it is what it is, man. It's your boy Nefakari Desaline back in the Billy. Yes, indeed. Cash App up on the screen and I'm gone. Peace.